What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. You know, Europeans take a lot of credit for a lot of things that they actually did not do, right? Like conquering America. They never conquered America. They got Africans to conquer America. Just like they couldn't conquer the land and grow any food and survive, they got Indians and Africans to grow the food so they can survive. And even with guns, they couldn't defeat the Native Americans. They couldn't do it. So what they do? They got a bunch of Africans to do it because they say, hey, let's pit the Africans against the Native Americans, make them fight, right? And then we'll benefit. It's the oldest trick in the book. And what did the Buffalo Soldiers do? They did what they was charged to do. They went west, defeated the Native Americans on behalf of a white government that just previously enslaved them, right? And they were given the name Buffalo Soldiers by the Native Americans. That's who gave them the name Buffalo Soldiers, all right? But the Buffalo Soldiers were known by their regimental names, right? But they like to hide this history and make it seem like a Europeans just moved west with their white armies and just defeated the Native Americans because they're such battle-hardened groups of people. Like they're the extension of the Vikings. They didn't just go anywhere and conquer. Listen, Europeans have never conquered anything by their own hand. They need attachments. They need assistance. They need somebody else to do it. They can't do it on their own. Like the Vikings, at least the Vikings did the shit themselves, right? But the Vikings pretty much just did it, mostly to other white folk, all right? And when they brought their ass down south, they got humbled. And that's the truth. Oh shit, there's other people like that they can do the same shit we can do and better, right? That's why Vikings pretty much, they travel, they got to the tips of certain areas, but they didn't go very far. They didn't go very far, right? Because man on man, humano humano, they just couldn't hack it everywhere, even though they could hack it in the peninsula of Asia, which is called Europe. But yeah, let this Native American, he's gonna break it down. Like the divide and conquer is everywhere in every aspect of the American side. This whole country is built off just white people manipulating other people to do all their work for them, no matter what that work is. And that's in fact true, even to this day. All this technology that you see the rich, well-to-do sons of other billionaires pretend like they just had an idea one day and decided to make a multi-billion-dollar corporation in Silicon Valley. Now they're super trillionaires and shit. They got some Indian, some African, and some damn Eastern European that they don't consider white to do that shit. Right? And then they take credit like there's some sort of super genius. Elon Musk, he's not a genius. He got enough money, enough African blood money to pay for geniuses. Right? But he likes to present himself as a genius. It's just insane. But without further ado, let's listen to this little information. I need you guys to know real history. I need you guys to understand divide and conquer. And I need you guys to understand how significant us Africans were in carving out all the spaces that white people in America call home. All right? Anyway, you tell me what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Buffalo Soldiers were black men fighting for a country that had just enslaved them. Plains Native nations were fighting to keep a freedom they've always had. And the U.S. Army spent decades trying to get these two to face each other on the battlefield. That's the story of the Plains Indian Wars. Right after the Civil War, Congress created all black regiments. The 9th and the 10th Cavalry, the 24th and the 25th Regiment. We know them as Buffalo Soldiers, and Plains nations gave them that name. Maybe their hair resembled that of a buffalo, or maybe it's because of how hard they fought in battle. Most of these men were formerly enslaved. They joined the army because it meant steady food, steady pay, and a chance at something better in a country that saw them less than human. And the job the army gave them, support westward expansion. On the plains and in the Southwest, that meant fighting Native nations who refused to leave their homelands. They spent more than 20 years in campaigns against the Kiowa, the Cheyenne, the Comanche, the Apache, and others, often on the very front lines. At the Guadalupe Mountains, the Park Service describes it like this. Black soldiers are fighting for a freedom they had never known, while Apaches were fighting for a freedom they've always had. That's not a simple story of good guys versus bad guys, but a story of survivors versus survivors. Buffalo Soldiers themselves dealt with brutal conditions. Burning heat, freezing winters, lack of supplies, disease, racist officers, hostile civilians. Native nations were facing broken treaties, starvation policies, and reservations carved out of their own territories. Meanwhile, the same government using black troops to push out Native nations in the West were still utilizing segregation, lynching, and Jim Crow laws in the East. Nobody at the top cared which of us survived, as long as the land opened up for railroads, ranchers, and mines. So yes, some of our Native communities remember Buffalo Soldiers as people who rode onto our homelands, and black communities remember them as people who fought, bled, and fought for a country that never saw them as human. Both of these memories are real. The point of the story isn't to pit black and Native people against one another. It's to show how the same system weaponized us against one another, and to make sure that we don't keep letting it do that. We can't change the orders that they were given back then. But today, black, Native, and Afro-Indigenous people can make a different choice. The same land, the same history, but this time, we stand on the same side. Like the video, follow the page, have a great day.
Sergeant Major Bothwell has a lot of interesting collections.
Huge.
He was the I don't know if your wife told you last year, Carlos and I had to go out there and put boots on because Sergeant Major Bothwell decided he was not in the correct uniform.
Yes.
So,
yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah. No. It's a beautiful story. Also, some of the responsibilities that the Buffalo Soldiers had back in the day. The first park rangers.
The interesting thing is the Buffalo Soldiers, or anybody of that time period, are romanticized into just this small block of time that people like to refer to as the Indian Wars. Mm-hmm. That's probably 10% of what the Buffalo Soldiers did. Mm-hmm. The entire infrastructure of westward inspection was on the backs of the Buffalo Soldiers.
Buffalo Soldiers get praised as heroes in your history book. Did you know they were sent to destroy Native nations right after slavery ended? Follow to hear how the Army destroyed the first black officer who led them. 1866, Congress creates 6 all-black regiments for one mission: push west and clear the land. These men just escaped bondage. Now they're pointing rifles at sovereign tribes fighting to keep their homelands. Black soldiers doing white expansion's violent work while their own families back east faced KKK terror and Jim Crow laws. They fought in over 170 battles: Wounded Knee, the Apache Wars, lower pay than white soldiers, worst equipment, least recognition. White America built westward expansion on their backs, then erased them from the victory story. Native warriors called them Buffalo Soldiers because their hair and fighting spirit reminded them of the sacred buffalo. 2 oppressed peoples forced into conflict so one empire could grow. The soldiers who survived got nothing. No land grants like white veterans, no pensions that mattered, just the same racism they left. Comment which black military unit got used and erased next. 2 oppressed peoples weaponized against each other. White expansion won. Black soldiers and Native nations both lost. They risked everything for a country that gave them nothing.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such an extent that you bleach? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate, you should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God made you?
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.